Hi guys, today our learning target is I can draw water like Hokusai by using lines to show water movement, drawing objects floating in the water, and using multiple colors to show depth. So I hope everybody watched the video about the artist Hokusai. He was very influential and an important part of art history. Yeah, I heard that you guys are learning about floods this week, so we are going to draw water that is flooding in waves that are crashing, and we're going to learn how to put things in that water. So I'm going to use a pencil because I might have to erase some things. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw about from the middle of our paper, and our papers are landscape. We're going to draw big curved lines. So we're going to go straight, we're going to go up and hook it over. So it's a big hook. If you want to practice, you can. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw this, we're going to use kind of scribble lines to draw the foam of the water. So we're just kind of scribble around almost all the way back. So I drew a straight horizontal scribbly line. And then we're going to along the edge of this, draw a squiggly line all the way down. The next thing we need to do is we're going to draw the rest of that wave. The great wave is what the piece is called that we're referencing today. We're going to draw a curved line like a letter U, down and up. And then we're going to make it crest like a hill all the way to the edge of the paper. All right, now we're going to add some extra waves down in the bottom. So right underneath this one, we're going to go up and down and up. So you go up the hill, down the hill, up again, but it's less than this one. This one was really aggressive and really dynamic. This one's going to be more gentle. And then we're going to do the same idea where we draw some kind of shaky curved lines all around it. And some shaky curved lines over here. And we'll get some shaky curved lines over here as well. Let's check in with our learning target. It looks like we use lines to show water movement. Great job, guys. We use these nice curved lines and these nice little scribbly lines to show that the water is moving and breaking. Now we need to draw objects floating in the water, because when flood waters come and they're very powerful, like they would be after a tsunami, which is a big wave, oftentimes they'll take a lot of things with them, or they'll make cars float. Even some of the floods in Illinois, my friend had to help her friend move a car because it got swept away a little bit in a parking lot. So we're going to draw some stuff in the floodwater. We're going to draw a log. So first thing you need to do is we need to make it angle with the water. So we're angling it with the wave. It wouldn't be sticking straight up. It would be floating, right? So we're going to draw two parallel lines. And then to make it look round, we're going to make the edges curve lines. And on this side, we're going to make a circle, like we're seeing it from one side. Okay, then we're going to draw some lines over it to make it look like it's under the water. And we have to add texture, some scribbly lines for the wood. The key to making nice wood look is doing scribbly lines that are a little bit parallel but don't quite match up. All right, and then we have to draw the rings on the inside of the log. Okay, we're gonna draw some leaves in the debris. Leaves are just football shapes, curved lines. Maybe we'll make a branch. So we have one line, and then we go from little to big. We grow that line. And then off of it, we go from little to big, like triangles. You can add more than one leaf on the branch if you want. They're just football shapes. And see how that's pointing up because it's going up with the wave and then down. So, and we got to add some little texture to that too. And the more branches you can have going off, the more realistic it'll look. Okay, now I think we should add like a whole tree. Just make a whole tree come down. So we're gonna make it look like there's a tree in the water, and since it's going up, and a tree would probably upright, so it's gonna kind of be sweeping up. We're gonna draw the two lines going closer and closer together, and then we're drawing the same idea, triangular lines coming off of it. So they start close together and then they go far apart. And the idea with trees isn't to have it just end with a line. You want it to end in smaller branches to make it look real. So we just keep drawing these triangular shapes, right? So we got triangle, 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 and I'm gonna add like another little one. And then we're gonna use curved lines, and we're gonna walk beside, kind of be parallel lines to all of the lines we've already made. See, I went in because that branch went in. Now I'm going to go out because the branch goes out again. And I'm following it around, but I'm leaving a nice space because we don't want to crowd it too much. And then at the bottom, I drew a curved line to show that it's in the water. Now you got to add some texture to the tree too. Remember, we're just doing some curved lines. Just do some wiggly lines. All right, so we've got our tree, our stump, our branch. If you want to, go ahead and add more of those, because that's good. That'll make it look more real. The next thing, if you want to add something else to your flood water, you can. If you want to add like a basketball or something. Here, let's draw a basketball. We'll draw a circle, and then we want to do a curved line down the middle. And then we do a straight line. And then we do a smile at the top, and a frown at the bottom. Smile at the top, frown at the bottom, almost straight line in the middle. Then we gotta make sure that looks like it's kind of in some water too. It's a curved line, kind of cutting off the bottom a little bit. And then if you want it to look even more real, you can add splashes. Splashes, like we did, oh my gosh, guys, last week, you know how we drew money and we did all those like embellishments with just these kind of like bunny ear shapes? You can do that for water splashes. Just bunny ear shapes, up and down, back to the point. Up and down, up and down. And if you want to get in there and draw some squiggly lines, some little scribbles to make it look like the top of this wave, that'd be awesome. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, it looks like we used lines to show the water movement, and did we draw objects floating in the water? Yes, we did. Just like what would happen with a real flood. All right, last thing we need to do is use multiple colors to show depth to the water. So you can even mix media for this, which means that you can use different types of materials. You can use markers and colored pencils and crayons if you want, because that'll give it some extra texture. So I'm gonna go in maybe with my marker or a dark blue if you don't have marker, and I'm gonna make curved lines, we're going back to lines to go with the contour lines or the lines of the wave. So I'm using the lines of my wave to help me know where to make my lines for my water. I'm going up and following it. And now I'm going down. Up. All right. Now I'm gonna go in with my colored pencil, dark blue, and get a little bit in there. Notice I'm not coloring in my my waves yet. And if you want to, you can also lay it down on its side to get a water texture. I want mine to be a little bit more bold, so I'm not going to. And you could even go in with the light blue and color all of the water first with light blue. And I know I just went over my branch, but that's okay because my branch is gonna be a dark color and this is light, so I can color over it. So I'm going in with my light color blue and I'm just coloring over everything with it laying down on its side like it's taking a nap. If you have markers, go ahead and go for it. And then I'm gonna go back in with my dark blue. I'm gonna add sections to it. We're using lots of blue and we're making sure all of our lines are going with our water contour lines, our curved water lines. Now, what do we do with the foam and the sky? The sky needs to be a different blue than the water. So I would make the water darker than the sky. I make the sky nice and light. Or if you want it to make it look like it's raining, because a lot of times it's still raining when it's flooding, you can make the sky a gray color. That would also be a really good choice. So maybe I'll go in and add some gray clouds to my sky. Make it look like a stormy day. And if you want to add rain, you can take a blue and kind of do these sideways dashes. And make sure they're all different sizes, So if you want them to look like some are close, they'll be bigger. If small is far away. That's called atmospheric perspective. And feel free to overlap it with your tree and your waves. That'll make it look more real too. All right. The next thing I'm gonna do, I need to color in my tree and my log and my basketball. And if you don't have those things, it's okay. You gotta pick something to go in your water though, because it's in our learning target. Maybe you put a hula hoop in your water. Or maybe you've got a boat in your water like Hokusai did. Remember, we're carefully coloring. I'm going back and forth until I fill up that space. And then I'm moving on. Now guys, remember your eyeballs are greedy, so we're gonna put another green in that tree because your eyeballs are like, I want one more.
Okay, same thing with our little leaves down here, we gotta add those.
See how it's okay that I colored over it lightly because the green is still showing up and the brown will still show up too. Because the brown is darker than the blue and I did not push very hard. If your texture lines start to disappear, just go back in with your brown and push hard, or go in with a black to go make them show up again. Okay, let me get my log. Typically the inside of a log or a tree is lighter colored than the outside because the outside has bark on it. So we're gonna go a little bit lighter on the end of our log than we are on our bark part of our log. And I'm gonna go in with a black to make my texture lines show up again.
Alright guys, let me do my basketball.
And there you have it, my friends. We have completed our learning target. We used multiple colors to make the water look deep and to make the whole scene look more interesting. We added some rain and some storm clouds, some gray to our sky to make it look like it's raining, because remember, floods happen when it rains so much the land can't handle it. And then we added stuff floating in the water, like the water had pushed it away and picked it up. And we used lines to show movement in our rain and in our waves. I am very proud of you guys today. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or send me or write a comment on the post. Happy art making!